Department of Technical Education, Civil Engineering Branch, Government Polytechnic for Women, Nizamabad, first semester subject. Subject name is Basic Surveying. Subject code 18C, 105C. Unit is Operations and Errors in Chain Surveying. Topics are Fieldwork, Procedure, Recording Field Notes, Field Book, Conventional Signs, Errors in Ordinary Chaining, Correction due to incorrect length of chain, and solving the problems. The teaching aids adopted are PPTs, diagrams, etc. Objectives: learning outcomes. Upon completion of this topic, the students shall be able to know field work procedure, recording field notes, field book, types of field books, conventional signs or symbols, errors in ordinary chaining, correction due to incorrect length of chain, and solving few types of problems. Procedure of field work. The field work of chain survey should be carried out according to the following steps. The first one is reconnaissance. Reconnaissance is nothing but just visiting, approximately noting the any obstacles, selection of stations, and getting one rough idea about the site to be surveyed. That part is called the reconnaissance. Before starting survey work, the surveyor should walk over the whole area to be surveyed in order to examine the ground and determine the possible arrangement of framework of survey. During this investigation, the surveyor should examine the intervisibility of the main survey stations. Surveyor should ensure that the whole area is enclosed by main survey lines, and also that it is possible to form well-conditioned triangles. Surveyor should observe various objects and boundary lines carefully and select the survey lines in such a manner that the objects can be located by short offsets. The baseline should preferably be taken through the center of the area and on fairly level ground. Second one is the index set. After preliminary inspection of the area, the surveyor should prepare a neat hand sketch showing the arrangement of the framework and approximate position of the objects. He should note the names of the stations on the sketch, maintaining some order, either clockwise order or anti-clockwise order. The field work should be executed according to this index sketch. The name and the sequence of chain line should be followed as directed in the index sketch. The baseline should be clearly indicated in the index sketch. Next, third step is marking the stations on the ground. After reconnaissance, the stations are marked on the ground by wooden pegs. These pegs are generally 2.5 centimeter square and 15 centimeter long and have pointed ends at the bottom. They are driven into the ground firmly by the help of mallet, that is by the help of wooden hammers. And there should be a height of at least 2.5 centimeter above the ground for clear visibility or fixing the nail or marking the paint dot. The station point is marked with a cross so that it can be traced if the wooden peg is removed by somebody. Reference sketches. Fourth one. To take precautions against station pegs being removed or missed, a reference sketch should be made for all main stations. It is nothing but a hand sketch of the station showing at least two measurements from some permanent objects. A third measurement may also be taken. And fifth step is taking measurements of survey lines and noting them in the field book. So this is performing the survey work. Ranging and chaining is started from the baseline, which should be measured carefully. The magnetic bearings of the baseline are measured by prismatic compass. These measurements are noted in the field book, showing the offsets to the left or right according to their position. Then the other survey lines are ranged and chained, maintaining the sequence of the traverse. The offsets and other field records are noted simultaneously. The check lines and tie lines are also measured and noted at the proper place. The station marks are preserved carefully until field work is completed. So this is regarding how to perform the survey work by taking different stages such as marking stations, taking reference sketches, taking measurements. Next, types of field books. In the case of chain survey, there are two types of field books available. The first one is called the single line field book, and the second one is the double line field book. In the case of single line field book, one red line is marked in the middle of every page. This red line we use as the chain line, and right side or left side of this line we show the objects along with their offsets, perpendicular offsets or even right angle offsets, or we can say that is the oblique offsets. In case of double line field book, two parallel lines are marked in between the page, and in between these two lines we mark the chain line, and side of these lines, right side line, right side space we use for the right side objects. Similarly, left side space we use for the left side objects, and we indicate the measurements of the offsets, perpendicular offsets or even oblique offsets. So these are the two types of field books, either single line field book or double line field book. The field measurements, sketches and relevant notes are recorded for future reference in a notebook which is known as field book. It is very important document. So this is one of the pattern of the field book, double line field book. Here these two lines are marked here, and in between these two lines we are showing the chain line. Right side we show the objects and we show the this object distance as our perpendicular or oblique offsets here. Left side also we show the objects and their distances, wherever roads are crossing, wherever any other important points are to be shown. Everything we are showing in the field book. This is one of the model of the double line field book. Now let us discuss how to book the readings, how to record the readings, and what type of precautions you have to take. Let us discuss these things. Booking field notes. Booking is commenced at the bottom of the page and work upwards and carried continuously through the successive pages, so that while writing, the center line of the book and the chain on the ground correspond with the surveyor's own direction. So we start the field book. First we select the last page, and from the last page bottom point we put one triangulation mark that indicates 0 of the chain. From that point onwards, from the last page, from bottom, we progress toward the top and we continue the next pages. Generally, for one survey line, we prefer one page. Next, second point. The number or name of the line and the name of the station from where the line starts are written at the commencement of each line. Third point, all distances along the center line are entered in the central column. Now, precautions. Precautions to be taken while entering the field book. There are so many points here which are very important while entering the readings in the field book. Number one, all measurements should be noted as soon as they are taken. Now, don't keep any measurement in your memory that you may be thinking this I can note the afterwards. That should not be done. As soon as you take the measurement, immediately record in the field book. Second point, each chain line should be recorded on a separate page. Normally, it should start from the bottom of one page and end top of another. No line should be started from any intermediate position. So generally from bottom to top we continue here. Third point, overwriting should be totally avoided. So while noting the readings, if any reading goes wrong, don't overwrite it. You just make one circle to that wrong reading, and side of that circle you write the correct reading. That is just sufficient. No need to overwrite the previous reading. So overwriting should be avoided. Fourth point, figures and handwriting should be neat, clear, and legible. Fifth point, index sketch, object sketch, and note should be clear. So while showing the object, the shape of object or size of the object, or any note related to that object, that should be clear. There should not be any ambiguity. There should not be any misinterpretation. Fifth point, reference sketches should be given in the field book so that the station can be located when required. Seventh point, the field book should be entered in pencil, not in ink. Eighth point, if an entry is incorrect or a page damaged, cancel the page and start the entry from a new one. So if one simple entry is incorrect, round it, make the correct entry. By mistake, if entire page goes wrong, don't tear that page. Simply make two cross marks in the page, strike it off, and write one word, cancelled. And from next page onwards, continue the correct readings. Next, point number 9, erasing a sketch or a measurement or a note should be avoided. 10th point, the surveyor should face the direction of chaining so that the left hand and right hand objects can be recorded without any confusion. So always the chaining should be continued in the forward direction and the surveyor face should be almost toward the forward direction. According to this direction, what are the objects coming on right side, we enter in the right side columns. What are the objects coming toward the left side, we enter in the left side faces. Accordingly, there should not be any confusion. So the surveyor should follow the direction of progress. 10th point, 11th point, the field book carefully preserved. 12th one, the field book should contain the details of that site such as name, location, date of survey, name of party members, page, index of chain line. So you have to give the name of that work. At the same time, name of the surveyor we have to give. Then place, location where we are doing survey work, location of the place we have to give. And on what day we are started, for how many days we are continuing, the details we have to give. Then along with the surveyor name, other person, the name of the surveyor party, that we have to note down, and page index of the chain line. So this is regarding precautions to be taken while recording field notes. In our survey, Generally, we adopt some acceptable sketches for marking so that by seeing the sketch, anyone can guess what is the type of structure such as roadways, railways, buildings, mosque, worship places. So for all these things, accepted sketches are available. These accepted sketches are called conventional signs or symbols. In a map or a drawing or plan or in land survey, the objects or an area is depicted by symbols, not by names. And as a civil engineer, we must know how to read the drawings, the maps, and plans, and how to identify the objects as per the given sketches or given symbols. A conventional symbol is a symbol that is widely accepted interpretation. The various features shown on a map are represented by conventional signs or symbols. So let us see some conventional sign or symbol here. So here we are given some serial numbers. Object, the name is chain line, that is indicated by dash, dot, generally three dot and dash. Main survey station or triangular station having triangle and showing the survey line, chain line. Traverse station or success station having circle and showing the chain line. Unmetalled road, we can say kacha roads, shown the just like dotted or broken line, not continuous line. If the road is metalled road, we can show the continuous lines. Railway lines may be single line or double line. In case of single line, we show one straight line and some single lines here, one line. In case of double line, we show in this sketch in this direction. So bridge or culvert, the bridge or culvert for the railways or bridge or culvert for the roadways according to we show. Then level crossing, crossing the railway line, crossing the roadways. Sometimes road over the railway, sometimes railway over the road, which is over, which is lower. According to that, we can show that one, which is up, that we can show fully. Next one, road in cutting. Similarly, road in embankment. These are the symbols. Next, wall with gate. This we assume the gate having here now pillars of the gate and continuity with the wall. This symbol is useful for wall with gate. And boundary lines having straight line and dot line. Hedge or fencing. This is a hedge or fencing. If it is the fencing with the wire or barber fencing, we can show in this direction. Pipe rating, pipe railing, telegraph line, electrical poles, north line, benchmark, river, canal, lake or pond, hill, open well, tube well, that is nothing but bore well. Next, building which is perfect or pakka building, permanent building, and temporary sheds, just like AC sheet, GI sheets. That is, we can temporary means we can call as the kacha building, and some huts, places of worship, maybe mosque, church, temple, burial ground or cemetery, tree, forest, orchard, cultivated land which having the water supplies, and barren land, then rough pasture, marshy ground or swamp. So these are the few of the accepted conventional signs and symbols in surveying. One can adopt all these symbols. Now, errors in chain surveying. Generally, errors are broadly classified into cumulative or compensating. The main sources of error may be from instrument or from person or from the nature. Instrumental errors, personal errors, and natural errors. All these sources of errors are broadly classified into two categories: cumulative errors and compensating errors. Cumulative errors, if they start increasing, goes on increasing. If they start decreasing, goes on decreasing. The value is added either to decrease point or to the increase point. Similarly, sometimes the error may be positive or other it may be negative. Ultimately, the whole result may not be affected much. So those type of error we can say compensating. So here let us discuss these two types of errors. The errors can be considered either as a negative value or positive value depending on whether the result is a higher value or a smaller value. First, let us say cumulative errors. The error that occurs during the chaining process in the same direction is called as cumulative error. This type of error accumulates with the process of chaining. Now, second one is the compensating errors. An error that occurs in either directions during the chaining process is called as compensating errors. As these errors takes place in either direction, the values compensates. Now, different types of errors in ordinary chaining. The basic reason for errors caused in the chaining process is surveying are due to the chain or tape with erroneous length. Second one, inefficient ranging, not doing ranging perfectly. Inefficient straightening, not fixing rod straightly, not stretching the chain straightly. Fourth one, careless holding and marking. Fifth one, sag in chain. Sixth one, variations in pull. Seventh one, variations in temperature. Eighth one, non-horizontality. Ninth one, personal mistakes. Let us discuss this one. Right up to eighth one, other errors. Ninth point include all the personal mistakes. So let us say number one, erroneous length of the chain or the tape. This error is a cumulative error that can either take a negative value or a positive value. This is the error due to the wrong length of the chain, which is considered as one of the serious error. If the length of the chain is long, then the measured distance is smaller and the error is negative. And when the length of chain is short, then the measured distance is long and the error is positive time to time. Second one, error due to inefficient ranging. Inefficient ranging implies the measurement by placing the chain out of the survey line. This mistake always gives a longer distance value. Hence, the error is a positive error, which is also a cumulative error type. For each and every repetition of the mistake, the error is cumulative and the final effect on the result is large. If offset distance is also measured, then the error becomes very serious. Let us see the next third point. Errors due to inefficient straightening. While measuring a slope or irregular ground, the chain must be held straight. Otherwise, the resultant value measured is greater than the true length. This hence causes a cumulative positive error. Fourth one, errors due to careless holding and marking. This error is caused due to an inexperienced chainman. Sometimes the follower may hold the handle to one side of the arrow or to the other end, The leader trusts his activity and proceeds the work and marks the points. This error mostly compensates and hence is a compensating error. Error due to sag in chain. This is a cumulative positive error. While measuring a sloped ground or stepped ground, there are chances for the chain to sag and the value obtained is higher, hence the error is positive. Errors due to variation in pull. A pull more than the calibrated pull of the chain brings some error. The chain man either apply more or less pull, which makes the error cumulative. If the pull applied is not known, the error is compensating error. Seventh one, errors due to variation in temperature. This is a cumulative error with either positive or negative value. A temperature other than the standard calibrated temperature of the tape results in length variation of the tape. This results in either showing a greater distance or shorter distance, based on which the error can be positive or even negative. And eighth one, errors due to non-horizontality. This is a cumulative positive error. While measuring the slope or irregular ground, if the chain is not held horizontal, it results in a longer distance than actual. Thus, the error is positive. So these are the error, and one more error, the ninth one is the personal mistakes. These are the personal mistakes or errors. Personal mistakes during the chaining results in irregular effects like, let us say, number one, displacement of arrows. Any change in position of the arrow during the chaining activity completely affects the original location of the arrow. Hence, it is recommended to mark a point on the ground while fixing the arrow. Next, misreading. Certain confusion while reading tally of a 5 meter or even 15-meter chain and confusing between 6 and 9 are some of the mistakes faced while reading the measurements, because If we use the 30-meter chain, then 5-meter tally with one pointed end, 10-meter tally with two pointed end, and 15-meter tally with three pointed end. And once again, 20-meter tally is just similar to 10-meter tally, and 25 meters tally is just similar to 5-meter tally. So in this we may confuse. Similarly, while using 20-meter chain, 10-meter tally is having 2-point hooks, but even 5-meter tally or 15-meter tally having only one single hook. So this, in this way we may confuse. So we have to take care of this one. Next, miscounting the length, chain length. This error can be avoided by the following a systematic procedure to conduct the to count the number of arrows. Whatever the arrows fixed by the leader, similarly be one by one arrow, these are collected by the follower, and the follower collected how many arrows, that much of chain lengths are already over. So in this way we can avoid the confusion by clearly counting the arrows of the follower. Other mistake may be booking. Sometimes the surveyor may hear the reading wrong and write it on the book. To avoid this, the chain person must say the reading loud, and the surveyor should repeat it loud and enter the field. So these are the some of the personal mistakes. Next, correction due to incorrect length of the chain. Sometimes after completing the work or during process of survey work, we identify that the chain we are using or chain we are to use are not the standard length. Then we have to apply the correction to the measured distances or calculated areas or even calculated volumes. In the case of distances, the true distance is equal to L dash by L into measured distance, where L dash is the incorrect length of chain which is used, and L is the correct length of the chain which is to be used. Similarly, in case of area, the true area is equal to L dash by L whole square and the measured area. And in the case of true volume, L dash by L whole cube into measured volume. In the formula, L stands for correct length of the chain, maybe 20 meters or 30 meters, and L dash is the incorrect length of the chain. Let us see some numericals or solve some problems in order to familiar with the formulas. The length of a line measured with 20-meter chain was found to be 500 meters. It was subsequently found that the chain was 0.04 meter too long. What is the length of a line? What is the correct length of the line? Here means true length of the line. So incorrect length of the chain, L dash, we can say 20 plus error is 0.04. So L dash become 20.04 meters. And Correct length L is equal to 20 meter. Here this L dash we can call as the L dash or L prime. Measure length is equal to 500 meters. True length is equal to here. We have shown now here 20.04 by 20 into 500. So 501 meter is the true length. Earlier we think that was 500, but true length is 501. Let us see another problem. A 30-meter chain was tested before the commencement of the day's work and found 5 centimeter too long. After chaining a distance of 1600 meter, it was checked again and found 10 centimeter too long. At the end of day's work, after chaining 3000 meters, the chain was found to be 18 centimeter too long. Find the true distance measured. So in this case, chain is goes on, length of chain is goes on varying 3 times. So let us take the average of these chains. Now first, let us say for the first 1600 meters, average error is equal to initial 5 centimeter, and for the 1600 final is the 10 centimeter. Average is 7.5 centimeter. That comes 0.075 meters too long. Up to that extent, the measured length is incurred length, the incurred length of chain is now it became as 30 plus 0.075, 30.075 meters. Therefore, true length is equal to 30.075 by 30 into 1600. So the true length became as 1604, 1604 meter instead of 1600 meters. Similarly, for the next process, when the remaining distance is measured, total is 3000. Already up to 1600 we have taken, remaining is 14,000, 1400. So for the next 1400 meters, at the initial stage of this one, that is starting with 10 centimeter error and ending with the 18 centimeter error. So average error is now 0.14 meter too long. Incurred length of the chain becomes now 30.14. So true length is equal to, as usual, we substitute 30.14 by 30 into 1400. That comes to 1406.53 meters. So adding the correct length or true length for the first case, that is L1, and adding the second case correct length, total we get 3010.53 meters. Next question. A chain was tested before starting the survey and was found to be exactly 20 meters. At the end of the survey, it was tested again and was found to be 20.15 meters. The area of the plan of the field drawn to a scale of 1 centimeter is equal to 10 meters and was found to be 75.5 square centimeters. Find the true area of the field in square meters. So here first is a problem is in 2 stage. First finding the correct, then converting into the field. Length of the chain at the beginning 20 meters. Length of chain at the end 20.15 meters. So L has become as now 20.075. Area of the plant is equal to 75.5 square centimeters. Scale is 1 centimeter equal to 10 meters. If we square on both sides, 1 square centimeter become 10 into 10, 100 meters square. Therefore, area of the field become 75.5 into 100, that is 10 square. 75, 50 square meter. This is the area of the field. And this area measured with a different scale, wrong change. For the correction of the area is equal to 20.075 by 20 whole square into 7550. So we get 7,606.73 square meters. Next problem. The length of the line measured with a 20-meter chain was found to be 475 meters. The true length of the line was known to be 476.20 meters. Find the error in the chain. Let us check the chain here now. The true length of chain always now here in the 20 meter is given, and the measure length of the line is equal to 475. True length of the line is given here now 476.20. Applying the formula here, we get L prime is equal to 476.20 by 475 in 20, 20.050. Therefore, error in the chain is equal to 20.050 minus 20 standard length. The difference between incorrect length of the chain and correct length of the chain is error. So that giving 0.05 meters positive. So we can say too long. Next one. The surveyor measured the distance between two stations on a plan drawn to a scale of 10 meter to 1 centimeter, and the result was 686 meter. Later, however, it was discovered that he used a scale of 20 meter to 1 centimeter. Find the true distance between the stations. Here given point are the distance between the two measured with a scale of 1 centimeter to 20 meter is equal to 686 by 20, that becomes 34.3 centimeter on the plan. But the actual scale of the plan is 1 centimeter is equal to 10 meter. So the true distance between the points here now. So for the 1 centimeter it is 10 meter. For 34.3 centimeter, it is 34.3 meters. That becomes the 343 meters. Next problem. A certain field was measured with a 20-meter chain and found to have an area of 60 square meters. It was afterwards found that the chain was 0.1 meter too short. What is the true area of the field? Let us write the first given data. Length of chain given is now here 20 meters, and end error in the chain is given as 0.1 meter too short. So wrong length become L dash become now here 20 minus 0.1, that is 19.9 meter. Measured area is given 60 meter square. Therefore, true area is equal to 19.9 by 20 whole square into 60. So that we get now 59.40. Let us take another problem. The area of the plan of an old survey plotted to a scale of 20 meters to 1 centimeter. Measures now as 125.6 square centimeter as found by planimeter. The plan is found to have shrunk so that a line originally 10 centimeter long is now measured only 9.6 centimeter. There was also a note on the plan that the 20-meter chain used was 6 centimeter too short. Find the true area of the field. Here we apply the two types of corrections. One 6 centimeter too short and one plan is shrink. So now present now here 9.6 centimeter is equivalent to 10 centimeter original length. Therefore present area which is 12.125.6 square 125.6 square centimeter is equivalent to original area of the map, that is 10 by 9.6 whole square into 125.6, that comes 136.28 square centimeter. It is application for the shrinking. Next, according to a scale, we apply the scale also. Now 1 centimeter equal 20 meter, 1 centimeter square, squaring on both sides, thus become 20 into 20, that become 400 meters square. So now this is 136.28 square centimeter, as 1 centimeter square is equal to 400 meters square. So total area we get 136.28 multiplied by this factor 400. So area become 54,513.89 square meters. But the 20-meter chain used was 6 centimeter too short. Apply this correction also. So L dash become 20 minus 0.06, that is 19.94. Therefore, true area of the field is equal to 19.94 by 20 whole square into the length is 50, area is 54,513.89. So we get 54,187 hectares. 54,187.30 meters square, that converting into hectares, we get 5.4187 hectares. So in this session, let us discuss the summary. We have discussed field work, procedure, recording field notes, field book, types of field book, conventional signs, errors in ordinary chaining, correction due to incorrect length of chain, and problems. Which question? 1. The chain field book is a single line field book or double line field book or both A or B or D, none of the above. So we have seen the chain field book can be single line field book or it can also be a double line field book. So 1 and 2, these both combination is correct. So both A or B, these both are the correct answer is C. The field book should contain the followings. That should contain the name of surveyor, or even place of the survey, location of the site, date of survey, all of the above. So field book must have all the details: name of the surveyor, name of the site, location of the site, date of survey, reconnaissance party survey. So D, all of the above is the correct answer. Let us see frequently asked questions. List the precautions to be taken while entering the measurement in the field book. Second question, sketch the conventional symbols for the following: wall with gate, boundary line, wire fencing, double railway line. Classify the errors in ordinary chaining. And third one, classify the errors in ordinary chaining and explain in details. Then there may be some numerical problem from this topic. Thank you.